So this week marks the 20th anniversary of the passing of one of Arsenal's favourite sons, David Rocastle, who of course died on the 31st of March 2001. This is my personal tribute to the great man. The goal against Middlesbrough at Highbury, a like slaloming run in the last minute to seal a 3-0 victory. And then a little while after that in the League Cup at Anfield when he scored that fantastic goal, which again led to some great celebrations in the away end. Hello, my name is Richard. Welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, the Positive Arsenal channel. In this video, I'm going to look back at some memories that I've got of David Rocastle, of course, who did die 20 years ago this week. I'll be looking at the early days of his career, the highs, of course, of the league titles and the cup successes, and then his sad departure to Leeds in 1992. Just before I get into all that, I want to make sure you are subscribing to my channel. If you enjoy what I do, you like some good positive Arsenal content, please click on the subscribe button down in the corner there. I am quite close to my next target of 400 subscribers, so it would be nice to be able to reach that this week. And also, if you've got any comments at all to make about David Rocastle or anything else to do with Arsenal, please drop them in the comments box. I do love to hear from you guys as well. Of course, David Rocastle joined Arsenal back in 1982 as an apprentice, and I first became aware of him probably about a year later. I used to always buy the match programme, and they always featured the reserves and the youth sides, and Rocastle's name was coming up quite a lot with some good performances in the South East Counties League, coming through, of course, in the same youth system as Tony Adams and Michael Thomas, to name but two. So it was no real surprise when he made his first team debut in September 1985, 17 years old, played on the right-hand side of midfield in a game against Newcastle at Highbury. I was fortunate enough to be there on that day, and while the game doesn't really live long in the memory, the performance of Rocky did. It stood out amongst the dross really that was around him that day. He seemed to have the perfect profile for a modern day footballer: strong, powerful, quick, really good feet, fantastic skills, and I say even at 17 years old he stood head and shoulders above what else was going on in the Arsenal side at that particular time. However, it wasn't really until the following season, when George Graham took over, that Rocky became a regular in the side. He played nearly every game that season on the right-hand side of midfield, and showed not only was he a skillful player, but also he wasn't scared to get stuck in. If you remember, of course, he did get sent off at Old Trafford during that season for a retaliation on Norman Whiteside for an earlier foul on David O'Leary. It just showed exactly what he was about. But of course, his best moment in an Arsenal shirt probably came in that League Cup run in the semi-final replay, of course, against Tottenham at White Hart Lane. The last-minute winner that he scored to send us to Wembley. Fantastic night, fantastic moment, and led to some great celebrations in the away end behind the goal, something that would become common over the next few years. Of course, Rocky played in a final as well against Liverpool, played a big part in the victory as we came from behind to win 2-1 with 2 goals from Charlie Nicholas as Rocky lifted his first trophy. In fact, it was Arsenal's first trophy for 8 years, and it was the start of a real big period of success under George Graham. Of course, following that League Cup success in 1987, Rocky didn't miss a game for the next 2.5 years. He had a great season in 87-88. It was his best goal scoring season, actually. He scored 12 goals throughout that season as George Graham started to rebuild the side that could really challenge for the league title. Of course, the following season, 88-89, would be the best season of David Rocastle's career. He was an ever-present that season as we won the league. Some great memories as well. The goal against Middlesbrough at Highbury, a slaloming run in the last minute to seal a 3-0 victory. And then a little while after that in the League Cup at Anfield when he scored that fantastic goal, which again led to some great celebrations in the away end behind the goal. But of course, he'll be mainly remembered for his performance at Anfield again 6 months later in the league title decider. Of course, he did win the free kick from which we scored the important first goal from Alan Smith before, of course, going on to win 2-0 to win the league title. Of course, David Rocastle's first league title. During that season, he also made his England debut as well. Although his England career didn't really take off, he'd never actually appeared on the losing side for the national team. By 1990, though, the knee injury, which had troubled Rocky since 1986, began to be more and more of a problem. And the early part of 1990 saw him out of the side for the first time since 1987. He struggled after that for the rest of that season and didn't play again until April. And unfortunately, that was too late for him to be included in the 1990 World Cup squad for England. Went to Italy and, of course, did well and reached the semi-final. His place in that squad was taken by David Platt, who, of course, went on to have a great tournament. The following season, of course, Arsenal did win the league for a second time in 3 years, losing just one game along the way. But Rocastle only featured in 18 of the 38 league games, the injury really taking its toll. And it seemed as though maybe his career at Arsenal was coming to an end. He was only 24 years old. But he had a bit of a renaissance in the 1991-92 season. George Graham maybe altered the shape of the team, and Rocastle played more of a central midfield role and had one of his best seasons for the club. Some more great memories, of course, as well. He was joined as well in September 1991 by his old childhood friend Ian Wright, and they enjoyed some great moments together throughout that season. Of course, there was that great moment at Southampton when Ian Wright made his league debut. Of course, Wright set up Rocastle's goal that day, and the two of them celebrated on the pitch. Two old friends that had probably gone through that celebration loads of times in the past in the South East London estate were now celebrating for real on the pitch for Arsenal. Of course, Rocastle did score that great goal at Old Trafford that season, didn't he, as well, brushing off Brian Robson and Paul Ince to chip Peter Schmeichel from 25 yards. Another goal that led to some great celebration in the away end behind the goal. And in fact, Rocastle's last goal for Arsenal was also against Manchester United at Highbury in February 1992, set up for him once again by his good friend Ian Wright. Of course, it was a bit of a shock, wasn't it, when Arsenal decided to sell Rocky to Leeds at the end of the 1991-92 season. The new league champions, Leeds, put in a record bid of £2 million. Arsenal felt as though with the injuries that he was suffering with his knee, maybe he was never going to recover his earlier glories, and he was sold on to Leeds. Of course, the famous story of him crying in the car when George Graham told him of the club's decision that he was leaving. Just 25 years old he was when he left Arsenal, and his career never really reached those heights again, did it? He had a couple of years at Leeds, a season at Man City, a couple of injury hit seasons at Chelsea before going down the divisions on loan at Norwich City and then Hull City. Of course, he did end his playing career in Malaysia before it was revealed in 2000 that he was suffering with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's an illness that I know very well, as it was unfortunately what led to my sister's death as well. But even so, it was still a massive shock on the morning of the North London derby on the 31st of March 2001 when it was announced that Rocky had died at the age of just 33. What an unbelievably sad day that was. Anybody that was at Highbury that day for the North London derby would remember the feelings. I mean, it still upsets me now just thinking about that particular day. Somber occasion it was, wasn't it, for a North London derby? I'll always remember the respect that the Tottenham fans gave him before the game as well, which always sticks with me. You know, rivalries can be put aside when something like that happens. So massive respect to the Tottenham fans that day. Of course, Arsenal did win that game 2-0, although I guess the result wasn't really that important. Although significantly, the Arsenal number 7 that day, Robert Pires, did score one of the goals. Of course, the number 7 shirt that Rocky had worn with so much pride over the years at Arsenal. That's my tribute there to David Rocastle. A few of the memories from his time at Arsenal, of course, fantastic player that he was. Just a shame he never really reached the full potential that perhaps we all felt he could have done. The knee injury in the end probably prevented him actually going on and becoming one of the greatest English players of all time. Stay tuned to the channel this week because I've got some good stuff coming up. I'm doing a live show actually, a Remembering Rocky show. I'm going to get a few special guests on to give their memories of the great man, and also as well we'll be then looking ahead to the big game at the weekend against Liverpool. I'll be doing a preview video of that probably coming out on Thursday, and then on Friday evening I'll be doing the warm-up show, hoping to get a Liverpool fan on with all the usual stuff, you know, past memories, players that's played for both clubs, all that kind of stuff as well. So that's going to be a good show. Obviously there's some great memories, isn't there, of Arsenal Liverpool games. We've already mentioned a couple in this video, so if you haven't done so already, please click on the subscribe button down in the corner there. Please give this video a like and a share as well. And I say, if you've got any comments at all to make about David Rocastle or anything else to do with Arsenal, please drop them in the box as well. It's always nice to hear from you guys. Thanks for your support of the channel. I've had a lot of new subscribers over the last couple of weeks. Hope you're enjoying the content, and please stay tuned. I say loads more good stuff coming up over the next week or so. In the meantime, of course, as we head towards another big week for Arsenal, a big game against Liverpool this weekend. Come on, you Gunners!